Going to focus on another locomotive tonight's video, which is a steam train. I know I don't run the steam trains very often, but I want to run them more often because I want to run all my locos all the time, but the trouble of doing that, I have quite a lot of locos already. If I get more locos, the chances is I'm going to have more or less room to able to put scenery in my proper layout when that time comes, and I don't really want to do that to a huge quantity extent because I'd rather focus on my scenery as well as my locos, because the locos are the big important part of my layout, and my proper dream layout is going to be a big system going on, but in a smaller scale to this one. But again, it's still going to be it's going to be a permanent layout on that one. I did thought it was going to be this one as well, but originally this one, but being it, these locos are, well, this one was £200 I got it from Hamleys some years ago. But she was a lovely locomotive to get. Hamleys were expensive, and they always are, so they run with Hornby's models. I want to get a few more Batman models. I want to get quite a lot more Hornby models. I wanted to take a look at the Class 153 at some point. I don't know when that'll be, but obviously I want to get more steam first. I want to get the Black 5, I want to get a Tornado class, I want to get the Evening Star. I want to get loads more steam trains, as well as loads more electrics. And then loads more diesels a little later on after those what have been done. You know, not done, but after I basically got my own maximum amount of steam and electric units I want on the layout, then I will focus on the smaller diesels and then more advanced passengers as well. So that's the idea. But obviously the tracks will have to be laid down properly first, for ballast, cork, scenery, backdrops, tunnels, bridges, road systems, the proper whole system. But this one, with this table, I can't do that because I can't take this thing with me, because it's way too heavy and it's way too big probably for a place I could end up living in. But obviously I can always send my smaller layouts to something quite cool. But yeah, I could do many things to this layout if I wanted to, but I don't really want to, because I want to use this stuff for the future projects for my prop layout, which will be awesome. So I could use things like this to put a wall into, like, saying this will be like a ramp or something to go into the board, and then it could go up, and this narrow track path or something for a bike. That'd be quite cool. Obviously that's the idea in the future, obviously, it's not now. Yeah, I do like my trains. I'm really looking forward to have a proper layout set up one day. Proper dream layout set up, and you know, go to heritage lines, get my proper model array layout set up, and running all the steam, all the diesels, all the electrics, and third rail systems as well. I'm going to have twin systems over it, and maybe the mix of steam, like, maybe not fake steam, but you know, like a smoke generator system on the model trains, which I might well do, but obviously I can't do that yet. I'm going to stick most of this layout with my future layout with DCC. I'm going to get a digital train, and I'll get a controller suited for digital trains to run on the layout. At the moment I only got one controller enabled to control DCC, which is my Hornby Select, but it's not MI compliant, which means it's not compatible with some chips, which means it's not the most efficient of controllers when it comes to digital use. But when it's DC, it's easy to control because you've got just a little minor. If you guys don't know what sort of controller I use, give me 1 second, I'll show you it. I find these controllers really nice. Really nice. They're really nice trains and controllers to use. I'll show you what I use. Pardon me. Bum, 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 bum. Here it is. Are you still filming? Cool, we are. Here it is. It's the Gauge Master Combi controller. I use this controller a lot for my layout. Richard from the Model Railway shop in Movigisi in Cornwall. Basically he used that one for his layout and testing the locos, make sure it runs well. But these are very efficient controllers. They're very smooth and they have a consistent speed in them, so the higher of the control it goes faster or slower depending on what you want from the train to do, and you can max it out, which is about 100, it's over 100 miles per hour and scale speed. But obviously I don't run my trains that fast because, you know, the amount of collisions we'll probably have. What's my maximum speed I let my trains to do? We've got a bit of clicking there, but I think that's to do with it's coming from that wheel there, because it means hear the clicking. Now I don't think that's actually supposed to be clicking, but it's not supposed to be clicking, but I can see the reason why, because this clip here, I'm not going to touch it, I'll rather let someone else do this, but it's not broken or anything, it still runs really well. It's just got a bit of clicking, which I noticed that on the day I got it actually, a little bit of clicking. It's not anything that's threatful to the locomotive it's running, it's just a minor clicking, which means that the rod is a little bit too close to the other piston or something, means it's going to be catching around the bearing on the wheel. But it's just something you want to keep your eyes on, just in case in the future it will cause problems. But at this speed she's not going to have any problems, I don't think. But here she comes. Beep beep. Yeah, I like all my trains, I'll be honest. But this one is my favourite diesel train, because I used to ride on one of them, only one on this particular delivery, from the East-South Coast Railways, from Scotland, because we went on the East-South Coast of Scotland, so we went on this one. So that was quite fun. We travelled up on the Pendolino, of course, and that was quite a nice train. It was nice and comfortable, leather seats. That was nice. We didn't sit in first class though, it was all standard class I think, the one we went on, because the first class is right out near the where the main power car is, and then the second class is much further down the train, being it would be like standard type passengers, and then you got the posher. You know, one day I'm going to have to make a chance to actually go on a train, one of the trains I might choose to go on the day, and actually have the experience to go on first class. I think you have to pay out a certain amount of money for it, but it'd be awesome. I think it's like £200 for first class, but I'm not entirely sure it could be that much. I have to have a look into it, because having the experience of doing it once is more than enough for me. Just to have that fun, and having the experience of being first class on a train would be quite wonderful. Anyway, yeah, I think we're nearly running out of time. We're doing alright for time actually at the moment. Beep beep, there she goes again. We'll get her up a little bit more high speed soon. We're just going to play with the trains tonight. We're not really doing much with them. You know, you have a bit of fun with them and get them at more than normal speed. They were going on the real wires back in the day. Well, these are different models from the things, but let's get it up a little bit. Not too fast. About 50% speed would be alright. Here she comes. Slow down a little bit. So maybe she can cope a little bit more. As I said, we're just playing with the trains tonight. We're not really doing much coach system. We're just having a bit of fun with them, letting them run by themselves. Have a bit of racing and pretty carriages all the time. As I said, we're just having a bit of fun this evening, which is fine. Oh yeah, I've got another box.